This is recording 825. The name of this podcast is Listen Next 825. You can find me the name of this podcast episode is Listen Next 825. The name of my podcast series is Speaking to the CIA. You can find me at ChristinaStation918.com or SpeakingToTheCIA.com. You can find me also on Podbean. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter. On Twitter, I am ChristinaMS918. On Spotify, you can just look up my podcast, or you can find me under Scorpio71. That's my music playlist. Okay, so this is going to be a bunch of loose ends. So I'm going to try to get through as much of this in one recording as I can. So it could be a long one. If I run out of air. Okay, so wait, let me start on this one first. Okay, so remember I told you I went to grade school, my sixth grade class, my first sixth grade class was at Hartford Elementary in Chandler. And then we moved, and then I finished my sixth grade year out at Pomeroy Elementary. Okay, somebody was listening to my podcast and pointed this out to me. They said also Paul Malloy is in Pomeroy. So if you take Pomeroy, which I'm sure Paul Malloy's already done this, if you take Pomeroy and then you use Paul Malloy and you do the cross reduce, it's probably going to break out into a bunch of ciphers. And that, again, shows you the amount and the level of stalking that Gene Roberts has done of me my entire life. And also somebody else pointed out to me his initials. He's got, well, I'm not going to go over all the Pomeroy D code. You guys have been following along. You guys already know. I'm adding to this. So the Paul Malloy, so APM is in his name. So, okay. So then moving forward. So also in sixth grade, but not when I was at Pomeroy, when I was going to Hartford. Remember when I told you, when we lived in Globe before we moved back to Chandler, and I was going to East Globe Elementary and I was in grade school. Remember when I told you that she iced me and my friends on the playground, and she made me crash she iced one kid to put a rock under the teeter-totter. So then I would crash, I would hit, the teeter-totter would land, and I would crash, and I would hit the rock. And then, which is exactly what happened. And then I fell off the teeter-totter, and I got the wind knocked out of me. Okay, and then I was able to decode all of that, and I decoded out her future plot and plan to do the World Trade Center attack. And knocking the wind out of me was part of it. No air, not being able to breathe, the collapsing lungs, and she's using the World Trade Center, the two towers, as lungs. So I decode out this whole thing, and I also decode out where she plans a future terror attack at 30 Rock. And 30 Rock is the address of NBC Studios in New York. So, okay, so she did this to me again. Okay, which I didn't realize. I've already talked about both of these, but I didn't realize both of these were connected. I'm like, oh yeah, these go together. So, sixth grade, I moved to back to Chandler with my parents, and we lived on Shannon, and I was going to Hartford Elementary, and I was playing on a scooter. It's called I looked up the name of it because I'm like, what is this even called? It's called a scooter board. It's a square, again with the squares. It's a square piece of wood with 4 wheels on it. So it's like a skateboard, but a skateboard is rectangular, right? Or oval shaped. But this was square. Okay. So anyway, I was on it like I was like what do you call that? Body surfing or whatever. Like I was laying on it on my stomach and I was like sliding around on the street, playing around on it. And I hit a rock or I hit like a dent or something in the road. And this is all ice. I was being ice. This is not natural. She's doing this to me. She's literally abusing me. But it looks like I'm doing it to myself. So anyway, I fell off of this thing, and I fell off so freaking hard, and I'm like all low to the ground. It just the way she twisted my muscles and made me fall and crash. She like my rib, it bruised. I thought my ribs were broken. I couldn't breathe. My ribs were bruised underneath my rib cage. And I looked up on the internet a little while ago, like rib 4, rib 5 area. So my ribs were like bruised. Like I could not breathe. I couldn't move for like a long time, for like a week. And I told my mom, I was like, I think my ribs are broken. Something like I felt like I'm hurt, like I'm in really bad pain. And my mom, she's just like, just brush it off, that's the way parents were back then. Just rub some dirt on it and move on. But, anyway, so I really thought I broke my ribs. They were bruised that bad. Like I couldn't breathe. It hurt so bad. So anyway, that is also connected to the World Trade Center attack. And that's also connected to me falling off the, teeter-totter at East Globe Elementary. Those are both connected. Okay. So there's probably a lot even more there that you guys would be able to find out in that, but I'm going to go down what I figured out just from this being called a scooter board. So scooter board, so she's using Powell Peralta here. You have to put parentheses around, like after the P, and Powell put a parenthesis between the O and the W, and then put a parenthesis after the P in the next word, Peralta. Whelp, that's like what I was in major pain. Like I was whelping in pain. I was seriously hurt. And then in the parentheses set next to it, put parentheses before the E and parentheses after the T. It says later. So, and then also her late. And then that also goes to all her now and later themes that she used more parts of her Charles Manson ciphers that she used stalking me and controlling my family all my life. She used now and laters all the time. Okay, so she's saying that she's pre-planning to abuse me here, and she's going for a 2-1 punch is what she's doing, but she's already been abusing me my entire life. But this is like her big money maker, and so what she wants to do is do it. You know how she tries to do a switcheroo? Like she tries to pretend that she's me and she's not me. That's what she's trying to do there. So anyway, my first little boyfriend's name in 7th grade, as you know, she pre-planned him too. She loves little kids. She's your advocate. She's your child savior. She's molesting the shit out of them and loving you to your face. So anyway, so my first little boyfriend, I told you, well, he was technically my second. My first boyfriend was in 6th grade when I was going to Hartford. My second boyfriend, his name was Steve Severin. Okay. And then you can even see by his name. So he was a little skater boy. And I was like, oh my God. I was so like, everybody like skaters were like huge. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. You're so gorgeous. But anyway, I'm sorry, she's making me rant right now. And as I told you, the people that are stalking me are child abusers. For them to make me rant, you can tell that the people that are controlling me are child abusers. And you can tell that they abuse me and my friends and my family all of our lives. Stalked the ever living hell out of all of us. But anyway, so he was a skater, so she wants to switcheroo the two because she wants to continue doing what she's been doing, which ought to gross out the entire skateboarding industry, and I'm pretty sure that it does. I've got to talk to a couple of people in the skateboarding industry, which I told you I talked to, oh my God. Now I can't even think of what his name is. Tony Hawk. I'll never even forget that conversation. I got a whole podcast on it, but talking to Tony Hawk in my brain, oh my God, we had the biggest laugh. Like, there was so, oh my God. Because she was just like, I'm going to make you the head of everything skating. Or like, he's her like Prince Charming. And so when Tony Hawk and I were like talking and meant to let telepathy, I was laughing so hard I was freaking crying. I'm like, can you believe this, bitch? I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. But anyway, the conversation went on and on and on and on. You'll have to listen to my podcasts on it. So anyway, so also in this is Tony Alva. And Alva is, so you know, CL Code Tony, Alva is another famous skateboarding name. Also in this is McDowell Road. And then you also have Dowell Rod. And I know you already know what that goes to. And then also, look, she did that too. McDowell Rod and then 2 months old. And then also in this is Alma School Road inside Alva. So she's using Tony Alva's name there. So in this also is Hasta La Vista, baby, but that doesn't come out later until Terminator comes out. So she like puts that in here. So I know La Vista, I know Vista goes to something out there in Arizona, but I don't know what it is. Unless it's Buena Vista, Walt Disney. I bet that's what it is. She's smacking Disney, and she's don't even get me going there. But anyway, so but you know who? Okay, anyway, let me continue here. Okay, so she's using that there. So what she's doing is she's making a threat like, I'm going to abuse you and I'm going to get away with it. And then I'm going to feed myself even more skaters, is what she's saying. Because I'm going to pretend it's your little boyfriend. And I'm going to just have some raunchy ass fun. Getting away with abusing the hell out of all of you. Okay, so anyway, all of this. So the name of the rib cage is, the name of the ribs are vertebrosternal and vertebrachondral ribs. Okay, so inside this is Timothy McVeigh's name and Terry Nichols' name. She used them. And then when I hit whatever I hit in the road, there was a nick in the road. So that's where Terry Nichols' name comes from. So then, more on Terry Nichols. I've got a whole page decoded on Timothy McVeigh, and I've got a whole page decoded on Terry Nichols. I've got several pages, podcasts. I got all kinds of stuff decoded on Oklahoma City bombing. Gene Roberts did the Oklahoma City bombing with Ted Kaczynski, Terry Nichols, and Timothy McVeigh. Okay, so anyway, so Nick in the Road. So she's making a reference to Nick Rhodes. So this is her little theme. So when I was in 6th grade going to Pomeroy and Hartford, Duran Duran was like getting like really, really, really popular. And then when I hit 7th grade, they exploded. But I was like in love with them. They were like New Kids on the Block or the Beatles, any of the New Edition, any of the real popular like boy bands. That's how Duran Duran was. And I was like, oh my God, Duran Duran. But anyway, I was totally obsessed with them. So she's using Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran. Okay, so Nick in the Road, Nick Rhodes, that's what she's doing there. And then also that links to future road terrorism. And then all her past and present day crimes she commits using highways, but you know what I'm talking about with the future road terrorism. So, okay, so that's that. And then I'm already... Okay, let me do this, and I'm going to end this one. See, I'm already tired of talking about. I've got to keep doing this. I'm going to keep proving to you that Jean Jernigan Roberts and her man Cynical is guilty, and they need to be arrested immediately. I don't care how she lies to you and schmoozes you with her thank you bitches or whatever the hell they're up to. I'm sorry, she's controlling my speech right there. Obviously, you know I'm very pissed off with the thank you bitches. That's all of Jean's people. Anyway, they need to be arrested. Jean Roberts needs to be arrested. This needs to end. And I and my boys need to be in witness protection. So, okay, so another thing that she used was, okay, so in high school, I'm moving ahead. So in high school, when I was going to Red Mountain, okay, so remember I told you I took an aerobics class? She used my, my little aerobics outfit that I had was teal and black striped. So she even controlled my little aerobics outfit. She was having herself a damn good time. So anyway, and you know that goes back and connects back to 6th grade. Well, you know all the teal everything now, but I'm saying link it back, what you might forget, and link it back to the bow that I made in 6th grade at Hartford Elementary. So anyway, okay, so one of the songs we had to do a I was in aerobics. I was in with my best friends. We all took the class together, and we had to come up with a little aerobics dance routine. And so it's like these songs that I chose are very, very, very these are all songs from my childhood. They're songs I've always loved, but I pay attention to every song from my past because Jean has ISIS song. Jean is making terror threats in the song. Jean is bragging about past terrorism and past crime that she got away with committing. And she's making threats in it. And I decode the heck out of all of these songs. And her whole purpose is to tear up these songs and to break my heart. But it doesn't just break my heart, it breaks everybody's hearts, which is what she wants. So anyway, so in the 2 songs that I chose that we did the aerobics routine was Hard Day by George Michael and Buffalo Stance by Nina Cherry. Okay, so anyway, even that, oh my God, she did not freaking do that. She did not freaking do that. She did it. I don't even know why I asked the question anymore. She has stalked the ever-living shit out of me all my life. And abused the ever-living shit and sold the ever-living shit out of me all my life. So, okay, so let me move here. So, Nina Cherry. So, she's using in the song by Nina Cherry. So, you know my childhood nickname is Nina, okay? In 6th grade, my mom... She had bought me summer clothes, and one of my little polo shirts that my mom bought me, when she bought me the Levi's and everything else, remember when I was begging her for Levi's? She bought me a little polo shirt with cherries on it. Okay, so anyway, so in the song she's going, what is she doing? That's all I say. In my brain, well, not anymore. I know what she's up to. She's out trying to cover her ass, and she's out trying to scheme money out of people. But anyway, so she's using that. But then that also goes to Maroon 5. The Nina Cherry also goes to Maroon 5. But she's hiding under it. She's using food underneath Maroon 5 also. Because she's using macaroon cookies, which is all foods are all important, okay? So the child abuse ring that she ran, where she abused me when I was little, her big money maker, okay? And she abused someone else. She abused us in a child abuse ring. So, skipping past all of that, because everybody's tired of it. They know what Jean freaking did. So, let me get to the details of this. So, like I told you, the food is very important. So, she's controlling all of our lives. Every one of us. She's controlling all of our lives. Okay? So, food is very important because she buys and sells kids with food. She was doing that to me using ice cream, and she was also using... On the other one, she was also using sherbet. She was using sherbet and Neapolitan. She was using alphabets, and she was using tomato soup and grilled cheese, and she was using macaroon cookies. So that ends up becoming Maroon 5. So she's using that. So she's hiding that underneath that. Okay, so then I'm going to forward ahead again. So... did you see my Twitter post where I found out what she did with the blob? Okay, so I decoded all that. Yes, she really did that. Yes, she really pre-planned it. Yes, that would be her. That's how she attacks. She's a gigantic blob. Just a gigantic blob coming at you, just consuming everything everywhere. She's disgusting. All Charles Manson, all centrally ran and run and operated by Gene Roberts, a white supremacist Satanist, someone who is in the Ku Klux Klan, who is guilty of doing the World Trade Center attack, the Oklahoma City bombing, and assassinations, crimes, unbelievable amounts of crimes. And she cloaks... and you know what she also, you know what else she uses? Jawbreakers. And that's where even the word jawbreaker. Because when you take a gigantic jawbreaker, the way they make jawbreakers is they coat them in candy color, and then they coat it in another candy color, and then they coat it in another candy color, and then they coat it in another. So as you're sucking on the jawbreaker, your first layer of color fades off, and then the next layer of color comes in. So that's what she's doing. So by the time, like, you get tired of it, like, you can't even eat the jawbreaker. It's too much. So she cloaks herself and shields herself in good people. She will go con the shit out of people, such as the military and everybody else. Just like golf balls. The inside of golf balls is rubber bands. So, anyway. Okay. So, on the figurine of the blob, okay, underneath them, that is a flat, okay? So, she's using that figurine. That's an important figurine. To say, she's trying to do a switcheroo. Okay? And she's trying to say that she's me and I'm her. No, Jean, you're you. You're my dad's ex-girlfriend. You need to stop trying to switch identities. You're not cute. You're not cool. You're disgusting. You're a terrorist. Anyway, so, that's a model of Puss in Boots. Okay? She used Puss in Boots as a theme. Okay, so like the Puss in Boots is standing on the books, and those books are actually, they're mine, but I've got like 80 of them. Some of them are at Tulsa Police. Some of this is in my podcast. Some of it's on electronic form. Some of it's on Pinterest. So she's holding like my decode hostage from telling on her, and she's acting like she's just going to get the hell away with everything, is what she's doing. And you notice in Puss in Boots, it's Lee Chat Bot. She's using, that's why she chose Chatsworth Canyon, and that's why she chose Benedict Canyon. She's a Benedict Arnold. So anyway, okay, so also in the flat, she's also using lactate, okay? So you have to see all code on lactate. It's very disgusting. I am not going down the road. It's a bunch of Charles Manson demonic ciphers of hers. It's nasty. But she's disgusting. So anyway, okay, so lactate is in it. So you also know she uses a milk and honey theme in committing terrorism and killing people. So if you're looking at assassinations, you're studying assassinations just like she did to Abraham Lincoln, which kills me. There's a lot of people that she's killed that she's done this to, and she's tried to do this to me, lying about me, choosing things by icing me as my name, just like she chose my ex-husband's screen name. I feel kind of sorry for him, though. My God, his his freaking screen name is her freaking street. She's like, oh my God, I'm just gonna love me Ben all the time. Anyway, so she used ice on us. She abused us. She assaulted us. She assaulted a bunch of people that we know on there. And she wanted to brag about how big and bad and how, sexy she is. She says she's so bad. She's Mrs. Stiletto. She's just bad, man. She can rip a kid and get the fuck away with it. I mean, those are her words. What she says about me is a fucking lie. Complete ass fucking lie. But she still did assault me. And what she did is disgusting. Completely disgusting. And she bragged about getting away with doing the World Trade Center attack. She bragged about committing all kinds of terrorism. In fact, I decoded, I know you guys, and I don't even think I've even mentioned that yet in my podcast. Ben, oh my God. He was freaking out on me, and he kept like freaking, this was like on a daily, almost weekly occurrence. He goes, have you seen that thread called Time to Dance? And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I know you've been on that thread. I know you've seen it. And he'd start yelling and screaming at me and saying that I'm a big part of something. He was like feeling like super paranoid, and he was like thinking that I was like out to do him in or something. He was thinking I was like Mrs. Rotten Evil, and I did not know what he was talking about. Okay, and Jean was icing us both. She was having the time of her freaking life. So anyway, he kept bringing it up over and over and over, and I'm like, I just ignore it. I'm like, I do not give a damn about any freaking damn thread. I do not care. I don't know what he's talking about. I do not care. So finally, when I started figuring out that I was being stalked, I'm like, let me go see what this guy was talking about. My ex-husband. Let me go see what he was talking about. She makes me say this guy, because somebody's going to try to pretend to be you. This is a internet broadcast. It goes around the world. So I don't know why you try to be me. Anyway, so I'm like, let me go see this. And I was in Slidell. I think I went to it the first time, like, to go see what the heck he was talking about when I was living with my son. And I was like, this shit is crazy. This is bananas. This is crazy. I don't even know what this is. But I can't even remember if I went to go see what that was then. Because I was like, what the hell is he talking about? He keeps screaming at me. So anyway, when I got to Slidell and I started decoding and realizing I'm being stalked and everything, I'm like, let me go see all this. So anyway, I decode time. It's the name of the thread is called Time to Dance. Okay. I decode the heck out of it. It took me it was a half a page long. I decoded that. Time to Dance is a cipher, and I decoded a half a page of it. And she was literally bragging about threatening to kill me. She was bragging about getting away with doing the World Trade Center attack, and it was just nasty. She was just totally openly freaking admitting to all of this, that she was going to kill me, and she was like threatening war terrorism. There's all kinds of stuff in it, and she's bragging about doing the World Trade Center attack, and she's just gonna be the one to take me out, probably because she was in those ciphers. She was probably gonna go play those to somebody and then go try to blame you and go try to suck young conspiracy people into it, trying to sucker them when she abused me, Christina, and she abused Ben and all my friends. She used ice on everybody. She was probably trying to con people. So anyway, I in this time to dance thread. So I went looking through this time to dance thread, and I started looking for patterns, right? So I'm like, okay, so this is a music video thread. So this is all music videos, and you see how important that is today. That thread is priceless. I bet you can find every Tears MFer there is in there helping Gene. Every single one of them. So anyway, I start looking through these, and the videos aren't like anything that stands out to me. This is early on in my decode. Nothing is like really standing out to me. So I start paying attention to the patterns of people's names and their locations. And you can't ever trust locations or anything in there because people use proxy servers or whatever, so it gives invalid locations. But would that even matter? Because all the account information still has to route back up. And I know the guy that runs this site because I've been able to talk to him in mental telepathy, and even he knows that Gene Jernigan Roberts is guilty. She tries to mess with him all the time. I don't know about it anymore. I bet he's told her to piss the fuck off. But his name is Trinity. But anyway, so I've been able to talk to him this entire, probably since I was in Dallas, Oklahoma City, and even here, living here, Oxford. I've got to talk to him in mental telepathy, but I haven't talked to him in a while, in a minute. But anyway, so I'm looking through patterns through names, right? So I'm seeing patterns in names. And I'm seeing that there is like a group of people in here that like know each other. And they're all like snickering and sneering. They've got some big, huge hidden secret. Like they're going to get away with some nasty shit. So, I mean, there's some really sinister shit going on in there. And then I started following their threads all over the website, seeing what else they're posting. And I basically found like a whole nest of people that are like persons of interest. Okay. So, but anyway, all you need is that thread. Another thing is another lie. Speaking of this, so another thing is another lie that she likes to tell. So there were two threads that she posted on there, and they both had "me tell you now" in it. METELL, and then U, and then NOW. And it was like, one of them was like, "Me tell you now, May 15th. And another one was "Me tell you now" something. And they were really weird, like creepy weird, right? Like when I first read them, when I first saw them, I was like, what is this? I'm like, this is freaking weird. Look at this. So, and I'm like thinking, I'm like talking to like Ben. I'm probably showing Ben. I'm probably just like thinking to myself, like, this is really weird. But anyway, so she's making me go, look at this. Like you're sitting there hanging out with somebody. She's probably go screw with Ben like he's stupid. Okay, so anyway, like he would even give a fuck. It's 10 years later. She's just messing with you. She's been messing with you to disrupt the podcast. So anyway, let me get back to my podcast. So anyway, so the "me tell you now." Okay, so she wrote those ciphers. She's linking that to, she's using a reference to, first of all, "me" is one of her aliases, the pronoun "me." She uses that all the time, and she even tricks people present day into going, "That's me, that's me." She tricks people into switching identities. "That's me, that's me." You're being conned by a predator who abuses and sells children and buys them and kills them and commits terrorism. But I cannot warn the planet enough for that. All I can do is just tell you I've turned her in. And that's what I keep doing, is turning her in. So anyway, another thing that she's using there is "tell you now." She's using "Telluride." She's also using Duran Duran, "Please, Please Tell Me Now," which was like my favorite Duran Duran song. It probably was my favorite Duran Duran song, but I had a lot more, but that probably one was my favorite Duran Duran song. So Anyway, so the Me Tell You Now threads are hers. So Jean, I could hear her in my brain talking to people in telepathy, and she'd go, that's Christina's. That's Christina's. That's Christina's. I didn't do that. That's Christina's. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Anyway, I've got her turned in. So everybody knows it's Jean Roberts threads. So, okay. So also in this, on the lactate, back to this again, she's also, so in this blob thing, also in that is Lackawanna, and you know that leads to Ted Kaczynski, and then also lacquer, paint. Okay, and then so moving ahead, she's using, man, let me take a break. I'm on 35 minutes. Hang on. Let me stop this recording and then I'll start recording again.